as a fun science experiment. We do 50 episodes together, and my podcast is called Spiritual Science because I'm the spiritual shuffler. And yeah, I'm interested. I have my notes here, so I'm just going to go off them because I channeled these and I want to share like the background of this podcast. So basically, I'm interested in exploring the unseen forces that live in our reality that create magic and mystical experiences and what people seem to call miracles. But we can experience miracles in our everyday life, from small miracles to big miracles. And I have, for the past, since December 2021, my first meditation retreat with Dr. Joe Dispenza. I had a mystical experience there, and ever since then, I have embodied the experience of spirituality. So that's how I know it's true. And I'm a big believer that while information is important because you need to know what you're doing and have the intention behind it, it's also important to have the experience to believe what's true for you. So take what resonates, and if it doesn't resonate, then just let it go. But for me, my truth, I want to share it because it's time to open that throat chakra. And basically, I just want to bring on guests that have transformed my life in a way through their information, through their teachings, through their mentorships, through their coaching, through their online platforms, and watching their content. I want to bring them on and just hang out and ask them some fun questions because I have been a big consumer of podcasts over the past 4 years. And now I know why. It's because as I watch these podcasts, I'm like, oh, wow, these are super cool, but they should ask this question. Why has no one asked this person that question? And so I want to dive deeper into questions that haven't been asked before, and so that we can explore different realms of alchemy, of magic, and we can just bring that into our everyday life because I am a proponent of, if we experience magic in our everyday life, life cannot be hard or sad or depressing. It can be joyful and fun because magic is fun. Like when you see, for me, yellow butterflies are very symbolic because when I lost my dog Reggie, who started my whole spiritual experience, because he was the only soul that I loved at the time deeply, unconditionally, and he showed me love unconditionally, and it felt so pure and good. And so when I lost him, I was on the hunt for, I don't know what, just to feel better. But it turns out I ended up finding more love within myself on this journey. Still going, still uncovering layers, but I've come a long way. And so I just want to share this information, share my knowledge, share my experiences, stories, and share the people that have transformed my life in such a beautiful way. So yes, is there anything else about this spiritual science podcast that I want to give you a little background on? I'm looking at my notes. Yes. Okay. So I've been having a lot of downloads because the month of July was super hard for me emotionally. I was training a lot for shuffling, just really trying to improve my skills. And with that came a lot of like mental turmoil, like mental pain. I was really like battling myself internally, because I know what I can be as a dancer, and my body just wasn't catching up to my mind yet. And so I was really hard on myself, being super critical, not showing myself grace, compassion, all these things. But I was part of a beautiful community that Kento put together for the month of July, and it was called Shuffle Glow Up Fam. And we are doing it again in October. So I'm super stoked about that and rejoining the community and just being a part of that connection again, because we all have this similar goal and we're all around like the same skill level. Some are just like a little bit ahead, but we're all in this together, like High School Musical. We're all in this together. And anyways, with that comes powerful transformation because we all are living similar life experiences, just a little bit tweaked, a little bit different. Our stories are a little bit different, but overall the themes are very similar because we have a collective consciousness. So we're all going through this together. And so, yeah, just the power of community is really powerful, and finding those peers that inspire you and that are just, there to lift you up. it's really important to have that. So I'm excited for that. But anyways, back to my story. In July, I was really going through it mentally, and I was being really hard on myself for not posting because I was training a lot, like going to the gym, like working out, and I hadn't worked out in like, well, consistently since college. So that's been a long time. And so I was doing that again, and just all these new things that I was building for myself, all these habits, which are going to lead me towards my goal, which is to dance all day, every day, and just be able to do that freely. And so I knew that this was part of the journey to do that. And so it was just really hard on my body, my mind, and my soul, because I was like diving into deeper levels of past experiences in college that made it not fun for me anymore to work out or play sports. And so as I have been healing those and coming to greater compassion and understanding and changing those stories, because I'm not a victim, I've also been just doing a lot with my body. So my body has been tired, and I've had to be very graceful with it and being like, it's okay if you need to rest. You did a lot this week. You're working a lot. And so, yeah, with that just came a lot of like criticism from my inner critic. And come to find out, that inner critic voice wasn't even mine. It wasn't. It was my college coach. And what I did was, when he used to criticize me, there was a power structure where he was paying my college tuition because I was on scholarship. So I couldn't voice my opinion, or anytime I tried to, I was just like yelled at, shamed, and like told I was basically like worthless. Like I was told I was $50,000 down the drain like multiple times a week, which I'm like, that's how, if you take that on and don't, because I would take that on, right? So taking that on is that unworthiness, internalizing it, because I can't be pissed and be like, you, no, I'm not, for like my safety and my scholarship. So I would internalize all these like nasty comments that he would make to me, or like Minnie Mouse, or like, you know, just like belittling me. And so over time, 4 years to be exact, I internalized all that, not knowing what personal development was, not knowing what mental health was, not knowing what meditation, spirituality. So basically, just not knowing why I felt great. And over time, those critical voices would get louder, and then I thought they were mine. But they were all my coaches, and I internalized them. So you, and I'm bringing them back to you, and I transform them into the light, but I no longer carry that energy, because that was never mine to carry. But I'm so glad that I had that experience, because now I can be strong and I can be confident in who I am. And I found spirituality, and I found like what true love really is like for the self. And I found my beautiful inner child again, because she loved dancing. And I forgot about her because I was just always like doing soccer practice, so structured, like soccer, soccer, soccer. My goal was to go to USC, did it. And so, yeah, I was just hyper focused and fixated on that my entire life. So when that was over, I had to find her again, and I found her. So this is beautiful. And so, yeah, with that, all that to say, we are looping back and tying this all together. All this to say, there has been multiple synchronicities in my life, whether it's through my dreams and having a lot of vivid ones and remembering them, and then things popping up in my physical reality that are little nudges guiding me towards the direction that lights me up. And so one of those directions is, I have been meditating to Dr. Joe Dispenza meditations since before December 2021, because that's when I went to his first retreat. So I would say like maybe March 2021 is when I started. But since that time, and having a transcendental experience, which I will tell you about in another episode, I just have always felt super connected to Dr. Joe Dispenza, and just always wanted to, you know, dive deeper, pick his brain, just learn more. He is just a wealth of knowledge. He teaches a lot about how to heal your body from like diseases and things like that, because it can be backed by research and science. And a lot of these like woo-woo, airy-fairy, like abundance, like manifesting money out of nowhere things can't be proven through like medical records, so it's just not as like legit for what he's trying to create, which is like pure like reviewed like science to back up these experiences energetically that people are having in ballrooms at his retreats. So I want to challenge him and being like, while all that is so healing and beautiful for people, he also is able to help people that are trying to call in the life of their wildest dreams. And he showed me that earlier this year. And he just opened my eyes to abundance in a whole new way. And so my goal is to have him on this podcast in December, because magically enough, in December, he's coming to San Diego, which is where I live. And he never comes to San Diego in December. It's always Cancun, Mexico, because that's where I did the retreat with him, my first one, back in 2021. Synchronistically enough, 4 years later, he's coming to my hometown. So work with me, be my cheerleader, be my super fan to help this dream come true, because it will not only help me in mystical ways, it will help you, because I will be asking the questions to dive in a way into his teachings that has never been explored before, or I haven't really seen on any podcast, anything on YouTube. So to help humanity and their lack of abundance wound, or just like open them up to the mystical. Things can really be created from the void if you're in that vibration, and money can like literally fall in your lap or into your bank account. That is my goal. So let's do this together, because we can do it, family. We are family. We are family about spiritual science, spiritual shuffling. We are just spiritual beings, you know, just having a human experience. And so, yeah, what else? I think that's it for now. I'm super excited about this podcast because I just want to like talk like to a friend, you know, you guys, and just share like what goes on in this brain. Because while this body can move, this brain moves a lot quicker. And so let me just tell you, I'm excited to share this information of spirituality with you by bringing on guests that can support me in this mission. Okay, well, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for joining me, and I love you so much. You are so loved. You are perfect. You are whole, and you are complete, and I love you so much. And until next time, bestie, let me give you a little kiss.